have a lot of support in more districts than Democrats do, and that's not some magic byproduct of clever redistricting. They have won elections where Democrats have won elections before in the same districts, and the origin of that Republican surge, dates back to the first 2 years of the Obama presidency from 2009 to 2011, and so in the 2010 midterms, Obama, lost big. The Democrats lost a ton of seats in the House, which is not unprecedented. Most presidents lose seats. So that Tea Party surge, organized roughly around healthcare efforts, but obviously tapped into some salient, some latent anti-Democratic Party, anti-big government, some libertarian strands, some more bedrock conservative strands, but they were able to sort of join forces and take advantage of that in 2010. But their ability to sort of push the political system is still a limited one. They didn't get their candidate in the 2012 Republican nomination.
Right.
In fact, if you'd say which one of these candidates is the least preferred,
Romney's the furthest.
Yeah, Mitt Romney's the furthest from this, active and loud part of the Republican Party. So, other than their 2010 performance and the fact that they were able to hold many of those seats in 2012, their sort of presence in the Republican Party is still complex, complicated, and time will tell how much sort of footprint they're going to place on the ideology of the Republican Party in the long term. I don't know if the Tea Party has lost ground because I don't know how much ground they gained. Right? If they are not able to get the presidential candidate they want nominated, we have to agree on a set of barometers for how well they're doing. Like, are they able to stymie, defeat, delay key parts of Obama's legislative agenda? Sure, right? Like they are a sticking point for a lot of the agenda setting that Obama's trying to get done, especially on immigration. It doesn't cut perfectly well for all issues. I'm not sure gun control, cleaves Tea Party against non-Tea Party Republicans in a meaningful way that we could find clear patterns about. So I don't think it works with all issues. So we can speculate that the Tea Party is receding. I would need to see more clear statement of how much they built up from 2000 and from the 2010 elections. Rand Paul is not being shy about his presidential aspirations to the extent that he's still demurring, but he on the scale of how future presidential candidates talk about their plans, he's relatively active in his pursuit of the presidency. He's sort of the opposite of this state's governor, who also seems to be making noise about a 2016 presidential attempt, whether it's I saw his secret weight loss surgery that he'd scheduled earlier in the news this morning, but that's only a part of a bigger picture of him and his attempt to convey a bipartisan, I can work with Democrats in the state legislature, very ripped right out of the George W. Bush playbook for a Republican, showing how he can work with Democrats in a sort of state legislative arena as a springboard to presidential viability. He's sort of the opposite of the answer to your question, which is who would be more likely to wave the Tea Party banner. And so Chris Christie would be as far from that as I can see of the people who are making waves right now. George W. Bush and Chris Christie as governors did the same thing as Mitt Romney, as working with the other party, did so in a way that was far more ideologically consistent than Mr. Romney did. There's Ted Cruz, another individual who seems to be a bannerman of Tea Party activity, and I don't know. I haven't heard anything about his presidential aspirations. He's certainly not shaking that tree as loudly as Christie and Paul are, but all this comes with the great caveat that this is a long way away, and we are it's fun to talk about, but speculations this far away are nothing more than